This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on 39 Dunedin News, local academics come up with a new way to prolong the life of your teeth, and it could revolutionise dentistry. Controversy at Otago Polytechnic as its council decides to up tertiary fees for the 5th year in a row. And we'll find out what's being done locally to address the country's increasing suicide rate. Good evening, Dunedin. I'm Rebecca Dupree. A revolutionary way to preserve teeth and prolong the life of dental fillings has been developed at the University of Otago. Local academics have invented a unique product with plans to manufacture it commercially, and that could lead to brighter smiles throughout the world.
These local academics have been working together for 5 years on a revolutionary dental product, a solution to the common problem of tooth decay and dental filling degradation.
So well aware that nothing lasts forever. Unfortunately, you'd like to think that your fillings last forever, but they don't. And one of the reasons that they fail is if we get decay in around the margins underneath them again.
So Dr. Schwass of the dental school looked to the university's chemistry department for help because the existing product for killing bacteria and prolonging the life of dental fillings has a major downside.
It leaves a black mark on the tooth surface, very, very obvious black mark.
Dr. Carla Meladandri's taken compounds already used in dentistry to create a product involving nanoparticles. Tiny amounts of active agent that have the desired effect without staining teeth.
It's absolutely fantastic. I mean, I remember where I was when I had the idea of how I was going to make these. You know, I remember that very, very clearly. So to have seen it within a short period of time, 4 or 5 years, get to a stage where it's gone off to a manufacturer is really exciting.
And Dr. Schwass is keen to try the product locally once it's been manufactured overseas.
I hope that we're one of the first few who get to use it, and we get to use it on our own patients.
The product's licensed by the university's investment arm, which provided an initial proof of concept grant years ago. It's received more than $100,000 in government funding, less than half the total cost. And while those details are commercially sensitive, it's expected the product will be ready for use in a few years. Rosie Mannins, 39 Dunedin News.
Police are investigating a 3-car crash in peak traffic this morning. The incident happened just after 8 a.m. when 3 cars collided near the intersection of Gordon Road and Park Street in Mosgiel. The vehicles involved were a Honda Odyssey, a Honda Civic and a Toyota Hilux utility. No one was seriously injured in the crash, although 3 ambulance crews attended as a precaution. Police are still ascertaining how the crash happened. Morning commuters were disrupted by the incident for about an hour before the scene was cleared. Student fees are increasing by the maximum amount for the 5th consecutive year at Otago Polytechnic. They're rising 3% in a controversial move by the Polytechnic Council. And that means courses are roughly 20% more expensive than they were in 2010.
In what's become almost a formality in recent years, fees are on the up for local Polytechnic students. The Polytechnic Council is increasing domestic and international fees by the 3% maximum for next year. And despite consistent increases, Communications Director Mike Waddell says the decision isn't made lightly.
It's a tricky one. We don't put them up just for the hang of putting them up. We know what the needs are of our community and we know what the demands are of our students. For us to deliver that, we have to do that, increase fees.
Maximum fee increases are set each year by the government, usually around 3 or 4%. And Waddell says it's necessary for the Polytechnic to adopt them as the government's underfunding the tertiary sector.
The only way that we can actually increase any revenue to be able to develop and keep developing programs, new buildings, is by increasing student fees. It's a reluctant move, I'd have to say, but it is sort of one of those moves that in a way we're forced in a corner so that we can continue to develop, which is really good for the city.
He acknowledges that managing money can be tough for students, and he says that's a real concern for the council. as it is for the Polytechnic Student Association, which has made its stance on the issue known.
They expressed real concern about it. I think they actually had quite a balanced view, a frustration that the funding wasn't coming from government, and an understanding that the Polytechnic needs to continually to develop. But there is a price to that, and that is an increase of 3% in student fees.
The 3% increase is being applied to all programs, costing domestic students an extra $300 a year and international students even more. Ruby McAndrew, 39, Dunedin News.
Police are warning Mosgiel residents about the suspected poisoning of a pet dog. A Mosgiel family's dog died after ingesting slug bait recently. It's being treated as suspicious because the family doesn't use slug bait and the dog didn't stray from the house. A local veterinarian suspects the dog may have been deliberately poisoned. Police say residents should try to make sure their pets and young children aren't exposed to toxic chemicals. The increasing national suicide rate is prompting locals to take action. For the second year running, members of the Life Matters Trust are involved in World Suicide Prevention Day. And they say it's an opportunity to shed light on a hushed-up subject.
Tackling a tricky topic. Members of the Life Matters Trust are preparing for their annual event to mark World Suicide Prevention Day, a global campaign about starting conversations around suicide and highlighting the help that's available. Trust Chairwoman Corinda Taylor says it's time to talk about the issue that's been off limits for too long.
There's a big stigma attached to suicide and mental unwellness, so people tend to not talk about it, and it creates this atmosphere of loneliness for people that are affected by attempted suicides or completed suicides.
The country's provisional suicide toll is at its highest since the Coroner's Office started releasing annual statistics. Between last June and May this year, 569 people died by suicide, 40 more than the previous year. Of the total number, 41 were in Otago and Southland. And Taylor says more needs to be done at a higher level to reduce the statistics.
Yes, we need to talk about it, but I think it's also a governmental problem. They need to spend more money on suicide prevention, and they need to really make sure that clinicians are up to date with their training in crisis assessment.
University of Otago chaplain Reverend Greg Hewson is helping to organise this year's event alongside students. About 150 people attended last year and more are expected this time around. And Hewson says facilitating discussion between so many people can make a real difference.
An event of this nature, which has been very carefully prepared with safety in mind, I believe is very worthwhile and can lead to lives being saved.
Mental health experts will talk about suicide prevention at the gathering, where trained counsellors will be on hand to make sure people know there's always help available. Ruby McAndrew, 39, Dunedin News.
Still to come on 39 Dunedin News, locals prepare to gather to show their support for refugees and take a novel approach to protest a book ban.
Hello, I'm Dougal Stevenson. Welcome to Museum Diaries, where we showcase some of the rare and wonderful treasures of the Otago Museum, some of which we don't normally see. On the show, we find out about one of the heaviest known bony fish in the world, the sunfish. Jane Malthus is in to show us some intricate lace. Collections Officer Jamie Metzger discusses fanny bus garments, and Conservation Manager Nissa Mildwaters brings in a snake, a crab and a wrasse.
Pregnant? Need to talk? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Pregnancy counselling services are here to help. It's free, it's confidential. Call us now on 0800 773 462.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell menswear, it fits.
Quality Tailors, the alterations specialists, adjusting alterations made to measure. Quality Tailors, fitting Dunedin for over 15 years. Call 477 8028 162 Princess Street, one shop down from Darling Street.
Pallet fires are growing in popularity in Otago, with people who want a clean and efficient form of home heating. The sight of a burning flame without the problems of chopping, stacking and carting wood around is a winner. Pallet fires, so easy, so efficient.
Wake up time and another frantic day ahead for Haraway's Oat Singles. With 3 delicious flavours in each pack, they don't last long with this family. They're so convenient and tasty, and they're ready in seconds. Haraway's Oat Singles are the ideal breakfast or snack on the run for today's busy families. And there's a flavour to suit everyone. Beat the rush and make sure you get your favourite flavour. Haraway's Oat Singles. Try new Kiwi Favourites Caramel Variety Pack.
Big Orange, for all your movies, records, books and games. Pre-loved needs and vinyl records, 45s, DVDs. A South Dunedin family-owned business for over 15 years. Check us out on Facebook, opposite Westpac on the sunny side of King Edward Street.
Active Furnishers Limited, home of quality service with superior product and an in-house design team who are always happy to advise and create an imaginative solution for you. Active Furnishers Limited, part of Dunedin's design history.
McClellan Refrigeration is your one-stop shop for heat pumps in Dunedin. We have a range of heating, air conditioning and refrigeration solutions. We also have 20 years experience. McClellan Refrigeration, call us on 477 0088.
Welcome back. Several local companies and entrepreneurs are among finalists in this year's National Innovators Awards. Scott Technology is shortlisted for 3 awards, including Sustained Innovation Excellence. Bison Group is a finalist in the Design and Engineering Innovation category. Timely is up for awards in Communications Technology and Cloud Solutions, as well as Export Innovation. And Kaikorai Valley College pupil Kate Shaw is a finalist for the Young Innovator Prize for her work with Kaika Energy. Winners will be announced next month. And on that note, let's take a look at today's financials. The NZX 50 has closed the day unchanged at 5,671 points. The Dow Jones is down 231 points. To the exchange rates, and the Kiwi dollar is down against all the currencies that we follow. Residents are preparing to publicly show solidarity with refugees by holding a candlelit vigil in the Octagon. It's the result of a meeting of locals concerned about the global refugee crisis. Alice Tolka is involved and she joins us to talk about it. Good evening.
Good evening.
Now, how did this group form?
Well, it was very... I had approached a couple of local MPs about it to see if there was anything had been organised, and we've basically gone from there. We had our first meeting, and now we're on the organising this vigil. Yeah.
What do members aim to achieve?
Through this, we aim to achieve awareness and solidarity within our Dunedin community.
Tell us about the candlelit vigil.
So it is on tomorrow evening at 5:15 in the Octagon. We do ask that people bring a candle or a torch to support.
How many people are you expecting?
Well, we're expecting a lot more than we had hoped for. We're looking at just over 600 people.
Is anybody going to speak at the vigil?
We have a number of speakers representing different parts of the community here. The Syrian community, naturally. We've got speakers on behalf of the council and also local iwi.
What do you hope the outcome will be?
Well, at this stage, we really hope that we bring around this awareness and provide information in regards to it.
What's the next step in welcoming refugees to Dunedin?
Well, we're still in the process of discussing that with our committee at this moment.
Okay, how can other residents get involved?
We like to suggest through the Red Cross. They have a wealth of information and knowledge, and there will be information through Save the Children tomorrow evening as well.
Why do you think locals are choosing now to voice their concern?
I think now, because of the extraordinary situation that has occurred, more so recently, and the wide the media really portraying it's really starting to
hit home.
Yeah. It's quite
How many
awful.
how many refugees do you think New Zealand should take each year?
I think we should really look at taking what we can. Again, we're still in the process of organising. So,
Alice Tucker, good luck with the candlelit vigil tomorrow night.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming in. After the break on 39 Dunedin News, locals turn out to support the reinstatement of a Kiwi book that's been banned, and we'll find out which Dunedin school is celebrating after some of its students are picked for a national development program.
Do you want support for your breathing? You are not alone. In New Zealand, over 600,000 people have some form of breathing difficulty, especially with the high pollen season in New Zealand. Puff Plus is an excellent natural product developed to support lung function and breathing difficulties. Puff Plus is so effective, you get a no questions asked, money-back guarantee on the first purchase. Give it a go, you have nothing to lose. Call now, 0800 502 402. Take as directed. If symptoms persist, see your healthcare professional.
Pellet fires are growing in popularity in Otago, with people who want a clean and efficient form of home heating. The sight of a burning flame without the problems of chopping, stacking and carting wood around is a winner. Pellet fires, so easy, so efficient.
Are you within your legal rights to take one life in order to save another? Welcome to the ambiguities of law. Because whilst the law may be clear, there is still room for both yes and no.
What? No!
The decision will depend on logical thinking and the art of argument. And this is what we learn at New Zealand's first and world-renowned law faculty.
You can stop now!
I'm Latafale, and this is my place in the world.
Take your place in the world.
Big Orange, for all your movies, records, books and games. Pre-loved needs and vinyl records, 45s, DVDs. A South Dunedin family-owned business for over 15 years. Check us out on Facebook, opposite Westpac on the sunny side of King Edward Street.
McClellan Refrigeration is your one-stop shop for heat pumps in Dunedin. We have a range of heating, air conditioning and refrigeration solutions. We also have 20 years experience. McClellan Refrigeration, call us on 477 0088.
Active Furnishers Limited, home of quality service with superior product, and an in-house design team who are always happy to advise and create an imaginative solution for you. Active Furnishers Limited, part of Dunedin's design history.
Quality Tailors, the alterations specialists, adjusting alterations made to measure. Quality Tailors, fitting Dunedin for over 15 years. Call 477 8028 162 Princess Street, one shop down from Darling Street.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Tune in on Thursday for Motorsport Night on Dunedin Television.
Welcome back. Locals are slamming the temporary ban on a New Zealand book as perverse and unacceptable. Dozens of residents have assembled to protest the interim restriction order on Ted Dawes Into the River, and they have a novel approach to speaking out.
In complete silence, these people condemn the nation's first book ban in more than 20 years. A complaint from Christian organisation Family First prompted the interim ban on young adult novel Into the River. Protest organiser Dr Emma Neal says the book can't be sold, displayed or even read out loud. And that's got locals exercising their last right in relation to the work, silently reading it.
I think this is actually a case of a really perverse kind of tall poppy syndrome, because the attention that it garnered as a literary success meant that people mistakenly thought that it was directed at children, and it's not. It's directed at young adults and adults.
The complaint comes as an age restriction on the book is removed. Concerns relate to content about sex and drug use, but Neil says nothing's glorified in the novel. She believes the interim ban tramples the rights of all Kiwis to freely access information, and other protesters echo her call for the ban to be overturned.
I'm a high school teacher, and I don't think that it's up to outside gatekeepers to make these decisions for our young people, really. I think that's a parental role and a community role.
Protesters also read other controversial works from around the world. Similar displays are happening nationwide, as well as overseas, and Neil's pleased with the groundswell of support.
We've had a lot of messages from people saying that they're going to read the book at 12 noon their time on the Thursday, September the 10th, or in their own time, to show solidarity for Ted Dawes, the author, and in support of freedom of access to information, ideas and opinions.
She helped edit Into the River and says its temporary ban, while the complaint's handled, is a dangerous move for freedom in New Zealand. Freedom she hopes to stand up for by silently speaking out. David DeLorean, 39, Dunedin News.
Otago Boys High School is celebrating another rugby success, with several pupils picked for a national development program. Only a few dozen players have been chosen from around the country, and for some, the training could lead to professional sporting careers.
On their way to the big time, these Otago Boys rugby players toss the ball around as they prepare for a national schools development camp. 4 pupils have been picked from OBs, the biggest contingent of any school, according to their coach. And the weekend camp they're attending could pave the way to professional rugby.
This is actually the breeding ground for ITM contracts. As funny as it sounds, with Premier Rugby and so forth, First 15 is now seen as the place in terms of recruitment for professional rugby.
The development camp in Palmerston North is designed to show the boys what life's like as a pro rugby player. A range of drills and training will test their limits, but the hard work should pay off, as it's proven to open doors for a number of former Otago Boys participants.
The most recent one for us was Theo Tompkinson, who last year played for New Zealand Schools, won the bronze boot for the best player in the International Test Series. First time a player from Otago since 1996, which was Carl Heyman, had actually won that award, and he made a debut in the weekend for Otago.
Slade McDowell's one of the teens selected for the camp. He's been playing number 8, but is also comfortable at number 7. McDowell and the others selected have had a stellar year on the turf, and the training's set to push them even further.
There'll be some pretty inspirational coaches up there, and I think just taking out probably a few tackle tech stuff and a few skills and drills, and it should be good.
Selectors are looking to name players for 2 national school teams, and if they impress, these boys could be heading offshore to play Australia and Samoa later in the year. David DeLorean, 39, Dunedin News.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on 39 Dunedin News. A major dental breakthrough has been developed by local academics and is set to be manufactured overseas for widespread use. Course fees at Otago Polytechnic are being increased by the maximum amount for the 5th consecutive year, to the dismay of students. And the increasing national suicide rate is prompting locals to speak up about the controversial topic for a global awareness campaign. Time now to find out what's going to be in Thursday's Otago Daily Times, and Bruce Query joins me. Good evening.
Good evening, Rebecca. We've got more news from Otago Polytechnic. In this case, it's been described as a positive move. Otago Polytechnic is expected to take over all programs run by Aoraki Polytechnic in Dunedin next year. So that's up for consultation at the moment. Brethren Church members at Kaikorai Valley are seeking formal approval to hold larger gatherings at their church. A young albatross, which seems to have lost its way and was found by the highway at Ettrick, has been given a ride back to the coast. In our feature section, Inside Out, dust off your daffodils because the spring flower show season is underway. And also in sport, you probably don't know this, but tomorrow the All Blacks leave the country at the start of their campaign to win back the Rugby World Cup for the first time back-to-back. Fingers crossed.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Bruce, and details in tomorrow's ODT. Thank you. Time now for local weather.
This weather update is proudly brought to you in association with Silverhorn's Puff Plus.
Here is today's city view. It's taken of traffic on Andersons Bay Road. And daffodils. And around the city at 3 o'clock today, not too bad considering what fell out of the sky. 7 degrees for the central city, 8 for both the Gardens and the Tyree. Well, to the situation, and more of this cold southwesterly air is expected tomorrow. And over the weekend, a cold front will move past the South Island from the Southern Ocean. But do hang in there because a milder west to northwest airflow will develop next week. To some of the main towns for the lower South Island tomorrow, becoming fine with sou'westers for Invercargill and Te Anau, and a mostly fine day awaits Gore and Alexandra with sou'west winds, highs of around 10 degrees. Becoming fine in Queenstown with sou'westers, a high of 10. Sou'westers for Oamaru with a few showers there, 11 degrees, but a mostly fine day for Wanaka and Twizel with sou'westers and 10 degrees. In Dunedin tonight, the showers will clear with a low of 4 degrees. Cloudy tomorrow with scattered light showers at times. Gusty sou'westers will ease and it will become fine at night, a high of 15. And on Saturday, mostly fine and sunny but cool with light nor'easters, 15 degrees. And to the Otago Pallet Fires tidal and fishing information, low tide tomorrow morning is at 10 to 9. High tide follows at 2:30. And fishing conditions look good tomorrow, especially around 11 a.m. And that is local news for Thursday. We will join you again tomorrow. Good night.
This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.